that. But when you say one natural cloth, like right
Cloth,
now, yeah, the cloth.
cotton,
So,
cotton.
but I was asking, what about the polyester cloth then?
If you do not have any cloth, you can go. But each of these have their own significances, isn't it, Johiji? Beyond
I
comfort
am
also,
not sure.
there's a consciousness in the cotton cloth. No? It's more conscious. Mruga is also,
Okay.
Mruga skin is told because of that. Like copper is also in among metals. Their sanskar can be created easily. But that does not mean sanskar cannot be created anywhere else. Sanskar can be
Oh,
created. Probably, since as an engineer, you develop a device for efficiency of sanskar establishment. Maybe cotton might have a little more than the polyester. That is all we can see.
okay. Understood. Thanks.
Yes, thank you. Carry on. All right. Yes, let us begin without delay. Let us begin with the invocation. Hari Om. सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणी विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धे भवतु मे सदा वसुदेवं सुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं
Krishna Mande Jagadguru.
कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं हरि ओम yes can someone recollect anything yes please
Meditation techniques.
yeah yes anybody can you recollect something that we saw last
We
anything
talked about the second meditation technique,
G.
about meditating on the nose tip. We can do it with eye open, but it's better to do eye closed because in the long time we cannot do it with eyes
Yeah.
open. Eyes में problem हो सकती है. And
Mm.
next was we talk about this that we better have at least one tile or one specific place because that particular place holds the energy or positive vibes of the meditation. Then, yeah, I will remember these two.
All right. Thank you, Johiji. So, dhyana, that was Nasikagra dhyana was introduced by Krishna. You see, very beautifully, Krishna teaches his techniques. The benefit of that technique, it is up to us to go deeper and understand. Means how Anulom Vilom can help control blood pressure also. It has been proven. Some trials have been done when done in a proper manner. Even if somebody who is proficient with Anulom Vilom and they practice this after, if they have feeling a lot of stress or and they can do a BP before and after, they may see a slight difference. So like that, these techniques also, Krishna says focus at the Bhruvar Madhye in the last technique. Why Bhruvar Madhye? You do your research, you identify why it is, you will get an experience. That could be
Mhm.
the seat of the prajna, that could be the special chakra sthana, or in the eighth adhyaya, we will see one more aspect of great yogis who have understood some metaphysical secrets of life and death. They also focus at that particular point. Why? I don't think we have to just look for a direct, literal definition of why. Instead, let us get an experiential one. So that was one technique. The second one, people say, don't think, don't think too much. How? How to not think too much? Simple. Nasikagra dhyana, na kinchit api chinte. Suddenly fluctuating thoughts, they're frustrating you so much you're not able to handle. You are complete in a complete ashanti. Something has happened, somebody has betrayed you, somebody has broken your trust, somebody has insulted. All these things, what do they do immediately? First reaction is a palpitation in the heart, deep breathing. No more are you having peace. Well, practice dhyana that time. No, why you have to only practice when you are peaceful? No, when you are not peaceful, that's the best time to do dhyana because that dhyana will help you become peaceful. Otherwise, people say, no, no, I'm not in the, now is not the time. Now is not the time. I'm too busy to be practicing dhyana. I need energy I need a lot of energy, so I don't want dhyana. No, your dhyana will allow you to conserve your energy, use it to the best possible way. A sports player also, he wants to enter into the field, wants to, their adrenaline is going to rush, isn't it? When adrenaline starts rushing, it has a mind of its own. It's a wild horse. But imagine if you can tame that wild horse and use the energy of that wild horse. Again, dhyana is for that. So, dhyana, there is no specific good or bad time for dhyana. Practice regularly. If you practice, you get greater control, niyantran over mana. Slowly, there's a psychosomatic link also. Sharira and mana are connected. Who knows, you might start getting niyantran over your sharira also. People have experienced dhyana taking away chronic pain. A participant in our previous batch, she visualizes Krishna as a child. Usha Maji, her name is Usha Krishna Kumar. And very beautifully, extreme physical pain she has been able to turn off just by connecting to the divine. Years and years of physical pain she has been experiencing. 17 years post a sudden stroke. But you won't believe 17 years after her stroke, she says, by Krishna's grace, on that very same day, she released a book. She released a book of her experiences with Krishna, whom she called child. She called the book child. And everything she felt, it was all connected with that highest consciousness that was arranging everything. So she's able to channel and connect. So something like that, this dhyana is one technique. If at all, where is God? I want to search. Well, start with dhyana, you will find. You may find that divine inside also. Just give me one moment, please. Sorry. Yes. So that was one thing we saw about dhyana. Any other point anybody would like to add that we saw? So we can take it further. What happens when the mind is tamed? Did we look at? Yes, please. Yes.
Atma Shuddhi
Atma Shuddhi. Yes. Oh, that's
purifies self.
purified self. Even gold needs purification, isn't it? And how is gold purified? By fire. So by dhyana, you are also lighting what? A fire. This is an inner fire that we are lighting. Let that flame burn. That will give you the strength. Agni is the Rigvedic devata of the fire. Agni is called the Kavi, Agni is called the Kratu. Agnir hota Kavi Kratu Satya Chitta Shravastamaha Devo Deve Viragamata. And this is Agni is also the giver of the hero powers inside of a person. Means this Deva is going to give the strength. So many have tapped the divinity within to receive strength to do what? To do higher works. So again, for all these purposes, we must do that. While doing dhyana, Krishna says, Brahmachari vrate sthita. At that time, forget your all connections. How many moments you have with your loved ones? Yes, enjoy all of them. Krishna is not taking them away. But when you are doing dhyana, you understand your journey. Were you born with everybody around you, whom you know right now? No, not always. But sometimes you are in a different place completely from where you were before. Sometimes people are completely disconnected, but it is something which, when are we going to connect with our own inner self? That is the question. So in dhyana, let us, I am so and so. I am employee of this organization. I am son of this person. I am daughter of this person. I am nephew, niece, this, so many, bandhanas we are having. At least at that moment of dhyana, let us dissociate from that and to associate with what? With the Brahman, with our origin, a divine origin. Man is the only means only being living. We human beings are only capable of even introspecting on divine among all the creation, all the different creatures. Nobody can do that. So why is it that we only have got this capacity? At least let us try to explore why by searching, because that is important. So dhyana has multiple reasons. Krishna says, as you go closer towards the divinity, the anxieties, the pressures, the restlessness, all of this begins to vanish. You have a litmus test in the chemistry lab. When in our factory, when we do this is alkaline, this is acidic, immediately the paper will tell you, or sometimes a pH meter, if not the paper. Like that, what is the, you are doing sadhana. Many people do sadhana for several years and they say, what is the point of sadhana? I have done so much, I have not got anything. What is the meaning? Look at other people, they are not doing sadhana, still they are getting. What is the purpose of everything? Well, something is missing. Definitely. Sadhana is not complete. Sadhana is incomplete. That is why you are having this question in the first place. Because as you go closer, closer to the divine, this anxiety, restlessness, sorrow, frustration all starts to reduce. Difficult moments will not come is not true. They will come. I have seen my guru go through so many difficult moments, but I've seen them go through the most difficult moments with a serene smile, and I was like, yeah, this is my guru only. I just feel very blessed to just see how a person is able to handle it. And sometimes in life we get opposite contrasting moments also. This also happens. Suddenly something is happening to raise your consciousness, same time another thing is happening to lower your consciousness. And if you're able to look at both with oneness, samatha, that's why Krishna says samaloštashma kanchana, objects also, people also. Your best friend, you get so attached, see, so happy with your best friend. The very same day your best friend does something very stupid or something very wrong. What happens then? Your happiness is gone. How long is your happiness connected to somebody else? Are we so inferior that we need somebody else to please us, to pacify us? No, we are something higher. Let us be available for that higher work. Otherwise, we will not be. So, dhyana increases our consciousness, allows us to be accessible to the divine also. Because the divine wants Kalyug, there is a great quota, Kalyug quota for everybody in sadhana. All very easily you can receive from the divine if you are going to utilize the circumstance around you as a means for sadhana and not sit and moan or whine over it. So Krishna says there the mind, intellect, everything converges and then the yogi's lamp starts burning. This lamp is like a lamp in a windless place. No wind. Krishna gives the example. Second time of wind. One more place he talks about wind like a one who is not control of his senses is like a boat without a rudder at the mercy of the wind. Now he gives another one. He gives a lamp in a place there is no wind. It's steady rising. Krishna goes on. Yes, so we had stopped at shloka number.
We
Can
have to
someone just
start from 21.
21, no? Yes, Ji. So let
Sir,
us
in
continue.
shloka 20, what is
Yeah.
Niruddham?
So yatro paramate chittam niruddham yoga sevaya yatra chaivatmanatmanam pasyanatmani tushyati. So what happens here in this quietude that oneness is established, all types of opposites have disappeared. The person is able to see with oneness. And but for that, what is required? A discipline is required, isn't it? A discipline is required, discipline for taming the mind. That is important. Then that creates an opening, that creates an awakening inside of the person. What is the end product of sadhana? Anyone?
Purification of the chitta, of the
Okay. Yes, that is the end process, isn't it?
Yoga.
Acceptance.
Moksha.
Okay.
yoga is the
Union
Yes,
with the Supreme.
yes, union with the Supreme, oneness, liberation. And if we can use a bahya lakshana, means the feeling that you get,
satisfaction,
that is
santushti.
santushti or even
Acceptance.
ananda. Yes, acceptance
Acceptance.
gives you peace, shanti, and also
Liberation.
ananda. Yes, and ananda, because ananda is connected with consciousness, and consciousness is connected with truth. That is why in the Rig Veda it is called Sat Chit Ananda. Satchidananda. We get to experience Satchidanandoham. And that when you get that experience, probably that is the entire purpose. Krishna goes on, he says, Sukham atyantikam yattad buddhi grahya matindriyam veti yatra na chaivayam stitaschalati tatvatah. When the infinitely blissful self's truth is thus known, perceived beyond the domain that the senses can own, the yogi is established firmly in the awakened state. From the origin divine, such a being does not deviate. When that consciousness is established, it has settled down inside of that individual. Dhyana, we get happiness a lot, isn't it? But problem is that happiness doesn't permanently settle. It's sometimes effervescent. We get very nice and then suddenly something happens and, arre, what was this? That was so nice there. Now here, what experience am I having? Suddenly, sometimes we have to hear some harsh word from somebody saying something, and then you feel your inner peace is disturbed. It is disturbed because you have not allowed it to fully settle down inside. But here, when the yogi is free, by realizing the truth of what? One's own divinity. Imagine if you understand your own divinity, will you get upset if somebody tells something bad about you? Somebody tells something wrong about you? Somebody says, Shastras are telling you are the biggest fool. I am telling you on the basis of Shastric evidence. You are the most, what we can say, sinful person in the world. You don't have bhakti, you don't have shraddha, you don't have yukti, you don't have etc., etc., etc. All of this if somebody tells you. But when you know this is not true, how will you deal with it? Will it create a ripple inside? No, it will not. You'll be so calm and right. Acha. Now, next what? Please, maybe should I give you some more adjectives to add against me? Because you are no more giving any weightage to that evaluation because you understand you cannot be evaluated by any other individual. You are precious because of sakshatkar. Sakshatkar of what? Divinity. I am divine. When you realize that, it's so simple. But that realization should come. Otherwise, in a soap on TV, there's one person. I am platinum. I am diamond. That person keeps telling me and doing all the wrong, trying to connect with that. So it is a realization which must come, not just a simple mental reinforcement. Because this is from a domain, this realization comes from a domain which is higher than the senses. That is something which has to be experienced. That is why it says coming from above. The realization comes and then settles down into the individual. So ask, seek, because only those who seek will receive it. And when that happens, the person doesn't deviate from the origin, from the divine origin. I know where I am. I know where I have to go also. Who is there who is going to stop me from that? Can anybody stop a union which is decided? No, no force in the world can. Like Shishya and Guru, Bhakta and Deva. If the realization is strong, no force can ever come in between. Every moment will become him, what we can say, just an instrument for that realization. Krishna goes on, he says, Yam labdhva cha param labham manyate nadhikam tataha yasmin sthito na dukkhena guruna api vichalyate. This is the gain of gains, the greatest treasure. Nothing is greater or even comparable in measure. When that unperturbed state is thoroughly gained, even by the worst grief, one can't be disturbed or pained. What happens when that state is reached? No news is absolutely heartbreaking news or bad news or despair or something like that. Nothing comes because you have now become quiet. A poise is reached inside. Because that poise is reached, you're able to deal with it. News is news only, isn't it? It may be what you know, or it may be something you don't know. It may be something what you aspire, or it may be something you don't aspire. It is as simple as that. The person is able to take one step back and hear. Many times in life, this is not possible, and that leads to more troubles and more complications. Just take one step back and listen. My friend's mother passed away hearing the news of the passing away of her husband on the phone. And in one moment, my friend's beautiful life suddenly just fell apart. If only that mother could take that news, maybe with a little bit of less shock, she could have been there. Of course, my friend is doing very well now. She's probably having her own career and life. But when this was what I was telling her in school days, when she was very young. So like that, sometimes we do not know. Sometimes we don't like certain truths. But inconvenient truths also have to be heard. Sometimes about ourselves also inconvenient truth from a right person, it is nothing better than that. It may hurt. Somebody may say, like if you see your ego, you don't like it. No, nobody, and somebody close to you points it out, it becomes even more frustrating, difficult to accept. But if you don't accept it, what is going to happen? You will continue with the ahankar. So to accept it also, you need one step. Oh, right, this I am ahankari for this reason. I need to take that away. How can you do that? When you are poised. If you see even the great Natha yogis also, they had moments of ahankar and their gurus would tell them this is there inside of you. And then sorrow comes, but you're able to deal it and act with it also. That is important. Krishna says, Tam vidya dukha sanyoga viyogam yoga sanyitam sa nishchayena yoktavyo yogo nirvanna chetasa. That yogi enters into that consciousness. He says, it is from the sufferings that mind has to be freed. Dukkha sayoga viyoga. We have to become free. Free from what? From sufferings. It is from the suffering that the mind has to be freed. A union with the divine is yoga's true aim and need. An inseparable union is to be courageously sought, cheerfully bracing the hurdles by which the path is wrought. What is the need? Why walk on the spiritual path? Why seek the divine? To remove sufferings from our life. Is there anybody who has not experienced pain in our workshop at least? Is there anybody who has never experienced pain? Please, you can raise your hand or say, I have never experienced pain. No, I think so. What is this? Pain is like a constant in all our lives. Though we are different, living in different places, different life stages, different experiences, different backgrounds, different perspectives, different aspirations, everything is different, but we are having pain, isn't it? So pain is like a universal language. So because because we are human. I remember as a child, I asked my mother, why is pain there? Can pain disappear? And she made a beautiful story of a child walking on the road who was like me only. I used to keep getting hurt every day. So some this child has got hurt and from he got hurt on the knee and it started bleeding because the child did not know about blood and the pain. He kept on bleeding till all the blood inside got over. That really scared me. I said, no, no, I don't want to lose all my blood. So pain has a purpose. That was my lesson. But yes, pain, whatever, whether or not the purpose is there, it hurts. But do all of us have to suffer is my question. Pain, theek, we don't have a choice. What about suffering? Is it a necessary, mandatory life experience to suffer? Do we have to suffer? We are humans, so we have to suffer. We are products of sin and we have to suffer for it only.
I
Is
think
that true?
suffering is what we inflict upon ourselves, while pain is
Ah,
something that is on our way.
yes,
It just
yes,
falls in front of us.
yes, yes, yes. We attach to the pain and that becomes suffering. Means even in painful moments, people can learn to smile or not. Can we not find in pain also reasons to smile? Yes, if you search, you will find them. You'll find 100,000 reasons to smile, to feel good, to feel happy every day, even in painful moments. But many times we highlight this is the situation, this is my pain. We get attached to it and that gets amplified. Some people are there, they search for suffering only. They have a what we can say twisted attachment towards sorrow. See what's happening to me. God is so happy in troubling me. God is like this. See, I'm suffering. I've done all so much. I have done the most good in the world. Nobody has done equal to me, and still see what is it? Life is unfair. All this entire instead of doing some parayan of Ramayana or something else, they do parayan of suffering only all the time. It's not required. Or some people try to see, even in happy moments, see that person is suffering. Why is this person? तुम इतना क्यों मुस्कुरा रहे हो? क्या गम है जिसको छुपा के? Of course, that's a different ghazal, but we don't need to search. We don't need to search for suffering. Yoga is for getting free from suffering. That is why you are going to do yoga sadhana. Improve your tolerance, improve your resistance. That is what yoga needs to teach you. And Krishna says that is the purpose, to free from suffering. The union must be sought with courage, union with the divine in our everyday life actions and life moments. Why do we need courage?
To face everything, to face even the adverse situations.
Courage is required, isn't it?
Courage
And
is needed for everything. कुछ भी
in
करना हो.
sadhana, in sadhana also.
Yes.
What is the fear in sadhana generally then? Because fearful moments require us to courage, no, to overcome.
No, sadhana में भी तो courage इसलिए चाहिए because sadhana has to be a dedicated and disciplined act. तो उसके
Okay,
लिए भी तो हिम्मत चाहिए ना, मतलब रोज एक
okay,
dedicatedly time निकालना and then doing it.
okay.
Everything courage is needed.
All right. Okay. Anjuji has said one nice example. Yes, Johiji
May
wants
I
to.
add something in this? Yes, so
Yeah.
actually, in earlier chapters, we have already seen that Krishna has mentioned that though many people or maybe lakhs of people start in the path of sadhana, but only one or two are able to reach because it's too tough. And we as we know, there's always Maya, so it's easier to fall into Maya as compared to reach the divine and look always. Yeah, there is divine. Look for him
All
or her.
right. Okay. Yes. We have not yet seen in this workshop of the Gita. It will come in the next adhyaya, the shloka that you referred to. But that is true. Yes, we are not able to sustain sometimes. And what is the first fee that we have to pay for sadhana? Surrender. Surrender to whom? To divine. How is the divine? What is the height of the divine? What clothes is the divine wearing? We don't know. We have not seen the divine. So we are surrendering to an unknown force with confidence, with faith. Some people say, where did you find the courage to surrender to the divine? Well, true. Then what happens in sadhana? We get pitfalls. We get moments where we start having doubts. We get points where we feel, am I progressing or am I regressing? What is happening? So all these moments, difficult moments, we need courage. That is why Krishna is saying, inseparable union is to be courageously sought. Be brave. Be brave to seek that. Cheerfully bracing the hurdles by which the path is wrought. So there will be hurdles. So what if thorns are there on the path? Will we never walk on that? We have to go. We have decided to walk on that path, so we'll face all of them. But face them with a smile. Maybe when we see who is dearest devotee of Krishna, he says those who smile a lot are close to him. Of course, not in the exact words. We will see that in the 12th adhyaya. But this cheerful approach to difficulties probably will also allow us to transcend. Let us continue. Krishna says, Sankalpa Prabhavan Kamams त्यक्त्वा सर्वान् शेषतः मनसैवेन्द्रियग्रामं विनियम्य samantatah. Originating from the thoughts, the desires of every kind must be dispelled and banished from the mind. The senses that scatter the thoughts must be in control, held. From dispersing to their whims, the mind must be withheld. This is like he's giving a, what we can say, SOP for doing dhyana only. Because most of the time thoughts start coming inside when we do dhyana. We're not able to control them. So Krishna is saying, no, come on, exercise your control. Because from the thought only desire comes, isn't it? One thought leads to other. This thought, suddenly from somewhere your antenna picks up something. That I saw that beautiful ad of a particular dish. So dhyana is going on, and should I order it before the dhyana or after the dhyana? The question starts coming in. I think desires have to be controlled. That is why it is said, no, the brahmachari sthita, that sthiti which you should go into that, free from all this except connected to the Brahman, all other thoughts, throw them away, not required. Krishna says they must be dispelled and also banished. Many thoughts are not good thoughts also which come inside of our head. Don't entertain them. Don't entertain them. Krishna has told, Atmaiva Bandhuratmana, Atmaiva Repuratmana. Any thought that is lowering your consciousness, lowering your worth, it's not worth having at all. Just dispel them, banish them. Who is going to give the strength? You are only going to establish that. You are only going to get that strength. Or call your God if you're feeling not powerful enough to use your strength. The mother had beautifully written, in the name of the mother, by the strength of the mother, by the power of the mother, to all adverse or harmful thoughts, I order to leave at once and forever. So like that, you are not good, you are inauspicious. Another time, let that thought never come inside of your head. Why? You are seeking the divine. There is nothing greater than this. There is only those, it is said, another beautiful quote, I think it's attributed to the mother only. He who chooses the divine is also chosen by the divine. It is divine wish that you are seeking the divine. Not everybody gets that chance. Even study of Bhagavad Gita does not happen so easily. Many times people wait all through their lives, but they are not getting the chance. So if you are studying it, it is because the divine has chosen you are going to learn and you are going to connect. So connect with the divine. Everything else which is disconnecting or reducing your network coverage, go to a good network coverage area immediately. Throw them away. Krishna says, the senses that scatter the thoughts must be in control held. Krishna is not telling crush your senses. It's all right. You have senses, they will act according to the senses. You don't get carried away by them. That is important. And from dispersing to their whims, one must, I think all of us know how to control the senses to some extent, definitely. Otherwise, we will not be in what position we are today. We have grown ahead in life because some amount of Sanyam is there. Probably a little bit more consciousness comes into the picture. It will change the equation in a more different manner. Probably we'll get a greater realization then. Krishna goes on. He says, Shanaihi Shanair Uparamed Buddhya Dhriti Grahitaya Atma Sanstham Manah Kritva Na kinchidapi chintayet. That state of thoughtlessness is a net result. What happens when you are thoughtless? You do nothing? No. You start doing divine actions. Sri Aurobindo wrote his great epic using his mind. Anybody? Did he use his mind? Did he use the best thoughts that he could gather? Savitri and all the other brilliant writings, Life Divine, everything that Sri Aurobindo's volumes are so many volumes of his writing. Anybody? Do you think he used his mind, controlling his senses, and he remained in that domain of sense and mind to receive it? Anybody? Are you aware of or read his
No,
book?
he didn't. He didn't use his mind or the regular faculties that we use. He didn't use them.
Then what
It
did he
flowed
do?
into him.
Ah,
It was
that's a
like an
beautiful.
experience. Flowed
It
into
flowed
him.
into him, meaning a vacuum is created, then the flow happens. So much was, means even before Sri Aurobindo went into deep sadhana, he had this practice called automatic writing. His hands would start writing without even thinking, and that the freedom fighters and revolutionaries would enjoy. Once the pen automatically just wrote that this person is going to throw a bomb on another person, all the revolutionaries were laughing because if this letter is caught by the Britishers, they would use it as evidence for a trial. So that was his life before going deep into sadhana. But when he went into the sadhana, when he was writing Life Divine, he felt even his physical body should not come in between. He wanted inspiration not to come directly into his body. He wanted it to come directly into the pen only. Let it move. If you feel what is it possible? Just see the end result. Read that writing of his. You will see what divinity is. How can divinity enter through an object? How divinity can enter into an English language also. It can remain in the words also. You read the book, immediately you get that inspiration. It was the hour before the gods awake. Before gods awake, so gods were also sleeping that time. What is that hour? It becomes crazy. Just how did the mind even go there? Well, it was not the mind, it was something else. So realization, that is what Krishna is talking about. Joiji has something to say?
Shushan
Yeah.
bhai, are you talking about this Savitri book from Sri
Yeah.
Aurobindo?
Yes. Absolutely.
Okay.
I think even the Vedas came in the same way.
Secret,
Like,
secret of the Veda.
No,
Imagine
not just
somebody.
secret of the Vedas, but even the original Vedas, Rig Veda and all were
Oh, you
also
mean, yeah,
probably.
yeah, yeah. They're
Yes,
inspired. They're
yeah.
inspired texts. Yes.
And I think Sri
Yes.
Aurobindo also talks about some of the poets who
Yes.
had,
Poetry also.
like
There are
poetry
planes.
also, which, yeah, plain over
And
mind
he
and
was, yes, yes. There were planes of inspiration. He could even read the poem and say, this poem has come from which plane? And that is something. When are we going to go there? ये मेरे लिए नहीं चाहिए मैं तो अपने काम में हूँ lot of people feel that but no it is required that is required to make our life better. Higher consciousness will not necessarily trouble you, it will actually enrich your life experience. Krishna
So
says that.
we say that we should be thoughtless in the state of dhyana. Then how does, I mean, even this inspiration comes as a thought, isn't it?
No, no, it is something higher than thought. That is why it needs to be experienced because this is means you see in Gita also we have a shloka Indriyanam paranyahur indriyebhya param manah manasastu para buddhi yo buddhe paratastu sa. Thoughts come through mind. Mind has limitation. Mind has logic. Poets means like I told you, Sri Aurobindo would give sadhana to his disciples to write poetry. And that time he would identify, see, this is your mind coming in between the inspiration. Because mind has logic, no? Ah, yeah, this word should be like this. So even when the flow of inspiration comes from here, mind tries to cut it, mind tries to bend it according to its logic. So our mind needs to be kept aside. We have to tell our mind, don't mind, go out of it. Let me experience it. But how do we do that? First, we have to become friends with the mind, no? It's like you tell your friend, don't come today. And the friend will get irritated and will come that day only. So unless you establish that friendship, so the way you can establish friendship with your mind is dhyana. Understand yourself. We keep crying, nobody understands us. Do we understand ourselves is the question we should ask. At least let us ask, understand ourselves. We understand ourselves truly. Everybody will rush. It's like the lotus will blossom. When the lotus blossoms, what happens? Brahmas will rush. No, nobody has to say invitation. You are cordially invited. No Brahma reads that invitation. Understanding comes and it grows. So we have to wake that. We have to bring that awakening. And it is something beyond the senses. Krishna also says, Sukham Atyantikam in the very 21st shloka, no? Atyantika Sukha, which is beyond the mind. Why supermind is called Ati Manas? Beyond. Absolutely. So when will we reach there? Unless we try, we cannot. But it happens slowly. Shanaihi Shanai. Shanaihi Shanairuparame Buddhya Dhriti Grahitaya Atmasanstham Manah Krutva Na Kinchidapi Chintayet. Step by step. It will not happen suddenly overnight. It's not working. No, you don't have to worry about it, whether it is happening or not. It will happen naturally. It will happen when you are ready. And growth. Anybody has tried planting saplings? Yes. Watching them grow, they don't grow just like that. You have to carefully watch. In the initial days, you have to take extra care, isn't it? You have to take, you have to just give few sprinkles, few drops of water initially. And then after a while, that sapling becomes such a big tree that you go into the shade. You don't need to water it at all. That is the state of our consciousness also. But slowly, slowly, we have to turn inwards. And one more secret is you will have to turn. Even if you don't turn now, moments will come in life where they'll make you turn inwards. Sometimes people get punched. And then after receiving a punch, then they turn. I don't think we should wait, no? Should we wait for some shock in life to turn? No, no, not required. They say no, सुख में सुमिरन करे तो दुख काहे होए. Kabir Das is very beautifully said. Why wait for bad times to turn towards the divine? Experience it. Then they say, "Chalo, okay, you don't need it. I'll not send you a bad time. You'll be able to manage." That's what happens. Krishna says, step by step, one must gradually turn inwards and think of nothing else that is outwards. With the intelligence focused in concentration, one must engage in self-meditation. There are siddhis like vacha siddhi or writing. There are different siddhis that will be experienced. When will they be experienced? When we reach that consciousness. But it will not happen overnight. You'll have to take efforts consciously, move step by step. People don't like that, no? Step by step. They want it fast, quick. Even Yog Marga, I want that Yog Marga which is going to give me quick realization. That is the what we can say everywhere. Even among grahas, least favorite graha is Shani. Why? He moves slowly. Shanaihi charati iti Shanaish charan. No, he's very bad. Everybody is like, no, we have to now negate him. Let us call Anjaneya. He will immediately negate. Do you think he'll get angry or he'll get happy? You have called somebody to reduce his influence. Instead, become conscious that yes, Shani will give you quick vairagya if you really want quick results. It's his job. He's like a parent. Everybody has a way of teaching, isn't it? Like that, each graha has a way of functioning. So Shani is teaching is that teaching you to be grounded. He teaches you to be nice to people. They say you are behaving bad, especially with those who are working or who are under you immediately. Especially like if you know somebody within labor class, if you insult, Shani gets annoyed. It is said. So what is it teaching you? If you look at the principle, it's simple: humility, your quietude. Slowly, don't get attached only to outer aspects, and the fear factor will disappear. But acceptance of that things happen sometimes. Things happen slowly, but when things happen slowly, they remain. As it is said, somebody who acquires skills quickly also perishes quickly. Instead, get it, let it happen. So slowly go inwards is what Krishna is saying. All right. I was absolutely restless. We can say monkey mind. I'm not saying I was with a lot of confidence. It may be that I am now also, maybe lesser than that time. But I asked my teacher, Dhyan nahi jam raha hai. I was not feeling confident enough to sit for meditation. He said, acting karo. That's all. Simple statement. What? Do acting, sit in one place. So slowly, I didn't realize when the acting stopped. It happened naturally. So we have to turn inwards, is what Krishna is saying. One must engage in meditation. Again, Krishna is telling dhyana is required. Yato nishcharati manaschanchala masthiram tatastato niyamyaitad atmanyeva vasham nayet. Every single time the mind goes astray, becoming unsteady, and when it begins to sway, the mind must be reined in and secured, and the consciousness of the self must be reassured. Mind is going to move everywhere. It does not need visa, but it can travel across the world. Quickly, we are right now thinking something here, suddenly somewhere else. It travels like that. So it is natural. But what do you do when it travels? You have to bring it back. Every time that it will go astray, it will go one time, it will go two times, 100 times. Let it go 100 times. You will take efforts 200 times. No. Why are you counting the number of times you are taking an effort? Instead, keep trying, keep trying. That is how, with abhyasa, with practice, it can be done. The mind must be reined in and secured, and the consciousness of the self must be reassured. Many times we get bad thoughts. Ramliji has told, don't associate with those bad thoughts. He said, where have the thoughts come from? From outside. If they have come from outside, they're not yours. Why? Why are you thinking, oh, see, I'm so bad? No, this wrong channel, wrong channel. Please change the remote. Use the remote to change the channel. Something like that. In your dhyan, turn it away. Turn. But it has to be done. Somewhere you have to show who is boss. Every time we are used to somebody else bossing over us. Come on, in dhyana, let the tiger or tigress rise. Yes, I'm going to control. I'm going to control the thoughts. Let me establish my consciousness. The mind must be secured, mind must be reined in. Near our factory also, there is this person, he takes his cattle out for grazing. What does he do? They go around. The person is very old and he has a stick which is probably as thick as his arm only. So it's not very useful for that person to hit the cattle. But he allows the cattle to graze up to a particular limit. He has an area, this much area they move around, it's okay. But the moment they run out, from afar we hear his voice. Hike, hike, he shouts something and immediately the cattle come back. They listen. So our thoughts are also, they are similar. You can bring your thoughts back. No, instead of getting attached to it, see what happened, or it's sometimes participating in it also. That is more dangerous when you start participating. One thought comes and you enter into it, you start going and you're away. So instead, rein in the consciousness. Little bit, it's all right. It will go away, bring it back. This is a very important technique Krishna is telling for controlling the mind. Because only when you control the mind, there's levels of consciousness which are beyond the mind are accessible to you. Otherwise, you will just be what we like people do lip service, no, something like that. You'll read about it, you'll start mentally saying, I am this level of consciousness right now. Tomorrow I'm in that. When is the experience going to come? Only when you reach that state. So rein in that consciousness, establish who you are. What happens then? You become quiet, you become peaceful. Prashanta manasam yenam yoginam sukham uttamam upaiti shanta rajasam brahma bhuta makalmasham. A pure quietude, devoid of any strong emotion. He is the gain of the seeker of divine union. Attains he a gnosis of the Brahman, the supreme realization, experiencing the bliss, the infinite bliss of the soul's emancipation. This Shanti also, the Prashanta Atma, that person is that his mind has become absolutely peaceful. Just 1 second. This mind is absolutely peaceful and the person is experiencing an Ananda. And this is the Brahmananda. Brahmananda is actually an Ananda which is devoid of emotions. It is devoid of emotions. Has anybody experienced bliss, which is maybe you felt it is something more than the happiness also? Any moment can we think of which is beyond the domain of emotions only? It's not undescribable bliss. Emotions like you can say, I am happy right now. This makes me happy. This makes me sad. Something which doesn't make me sad happens, I'll become happy. It's the binary. But this Ananda is something, and Krishna says that Ananda is the realization. That person, it is the emancipation of that soul, realization of its worth. That is the ultimate gain, is what Krishna is saying. Yunjannevam sadatmanam yogi vigata kalmashaha sukhena brahma samsparsham atyantam sukham ashnute. When he is thus unblemished, passionless and free. Passion is required so many times, but sometimes passion is also what? It is rajasic, it is a force, it is an outer force. Krishna talks about this as something higher. Constantly, he is thus unblemished, passionless and free. Constantly in the state of union he can be. Such a yogi is always in a state of highest joy, as the understanding of the Creator he can enjoy. Means you are able to understand the game of forces behind the wheel of things in life. You are no more just like a ping pong ball driven by forces of life. You are now a participant who is conscious. A conscious participant is also understanding the game. When you know the rules of the game, or when you begin to understand the game, sometimes it's okay if you slip and fall, because you know you are now going on the right side. You are able to see, कि चलो ठीक है, my team has already scored 10 goals. No matter if I do 3 self goals, it's okay. I still have a good lead. Something like that. You are able to understand the working of the divine. That itself is a mukti. Krishna has told in the Gita elsewhere also. We have covered it. Janma karma cha me divyam. Somebody who is able to recognize it, that person becomes free. Well, in the higher consciousness, the divine functioning becomes absolutely clear. If you don't get that functioning, you are just going to be trapped in the action and reaction of forces. Something happens, immediately somebody reacts to it, other reaction leads to another reaction. You are just in the flux of it. But this is one higher state. You're able to understand. सर्वभूतस्थम आत्मानं सर्वभूतानि चात्मनि ईक्षते योग युक्तात्मा सर्वत्र समदर्शन. And the samata bhava is there. Samata bhava is also something which is important. It comes, the realization comes, realization of divine everywhere. Such a man who has attained the union universal acquires he a perspective equal and global. For he sees the self in all and all in the self. Excuse me. Hariom. Yep. So acquires he a perspective equal and global. He sees the self in all and all in the self, and he discriminates not others from himself. This is the next important step in evolution. We saw, isn't it? Sama Loshtashma Kanchana. Objects, oneness, samatha in objects. That is the first aspect. Stop getting driven only by objects and desires of senses. Then see oneness in all the people. Friend, foe. That oneness can come. Your well-wisher or somebody who is plotting for your fall. If you can see oneness, you can progress, is what Krishna is saying. All right. The one who is plotting for your fall also can be functioning according to the divine will. Can you come to terms with this fact? Anybody?
It is difficult, sir, but we can try.
You can try. Okay. Sandraji
Yes,
says, okay, at least
You can
trying
take it
is
as
nice.
Krishna Ichha.
Okay, Rajrupaji says Krishna Ichha. But Krishna Ichha, we can say Krishna is sweet. The moment we say Krishna, everything is fine. But the person who is plotting your downfall doesn't appear sweet, no? So how
He
can
doesn't
he be
appear
working?
sweet, but he is working towards Krishna Ichha also.
Yeah.
Sri
Yes. All
Ram,
right.
Sri Ram
No.
came to terms with it by this thought.
Okay. Sri Ram was able to experience
When he was given Vanvas,
uh, uh,
so at
yes,
that he thought that the mother who loved me the most is plotting against me, so there must be some divine intervention.
yeah. Sri Aurobindo has written a beautiful line in Savitri. His enemies are the ones he came to save.
Still, we have to be vigilant enough. We cannot let them ruin us and plot against us. मतलब खुद
No,
ही alert तो रहना ही पड़ेगा ना फिर भी.
what
कृष्ण
doesn't
इच्छा
break
तो
you
ठीक
will
है.
make you more powerful, no? What doesn't break you will make you more powerful. Resistance is something which is required.
No, I'm not saying we need to be resistant, but the thing is we need to keep
No, I meant
ourselves
resistance
open.
to distraction, no? Resistance to falling,
Right,
rejecting
right.
that lower pull.
Hmm.
Like I remember my English teacher, grammar teacher in school. She used to single me out because I was also Marathi. She was also Marathi in Pondicherry. And she somehow talked to my mother. So she knew my mother. So she would call my name out in the class and say something in Marathi equivalent of potatoes inside of your head. That was very annoying. But because of that, I didn't want my friends to tease me. I started studying Ren and Martin. Now you see, that helped me. Whatever English I had, my English peak was when I was in school. It reduced after college, and then afterwards in the village, we don't need English at all. So it's gone further down now. But that particular time, which was most troublesome, that particular period, that has turned out to be a blessing in disguise, because even now I'm grateful. I went to meet her also. I said, thank you. And she said, you have changed terribly. I was very surprised with the adjective she has chosen. So I asked her, ma'am, terribly? She said, yes, terribly. It's like, okay, ma'am says that's correct. But sometimes, you see, our difficulties have come to make us strong. It is true. What has not made you break is only going to leave you stronger. So, ठीक है, Krishna is giving me some punches. I'll take it because I'm going to get stronger. Boxers learn getting punched only first, no? The best of the boxers learn to take the blows. Yes, Binaji is adding something? Yes, ma'am.
No, I was just wondering if you have to think about whether he's challenging you or he's plotting against you.
Don't
That
have
is
to.
again,
No, it's not required. Just go ahead. Something unfavorable has happened. It's all right. Just take it with a smile. Krishna says cheerfully brace the hurdles. That's it. Go ahead,
Best is
observe
to
it.
ignore. Best is to ignore and
Yes,
go ahead.
yes. Ignore the harsh comments. Ignore all the other wrong. But become stronger. Become stronger. Use that as an opportunity. This is apada ka avsar, something like that. Take that up. Make an opportunity out of the adverse situation also. That can be done. So Krishna says such a person gets a universal perspective. The universal perspective which allows that person to see what oneness everywhere. Any part of the world. Take a yogi, put that yogi in any part of the world, the consciousness is going to remain the same, divine consciousness. It will not change.
I think Savitri has a line where it is similar. I'm not quoting, but it's the
Okay.
idea is that there'll be a day when the adverse forces also will put down all their weapons and whatever they have on their this thing, and like they say, our duty is done.
Yes, yes. And so day is ultimately when truth manifests, skeptic also falls on the knees. Transformation will take place. But our job is not to worry about that because we are busy focusing on our own sadhana at the moment, at least. If we have our kendra of that, yeah, I want to improve. Swami
So
Vivekananda
we
went to
can look at it
Chicago.
as every adverse attack on us is also a plan of the divine to make us more strong, more
Yeah, yeah,
resilient.
yeah. Hammer is called, pain is the hammer of God. Share in those words. It's making you strong. The sword becomes strong because of hammering only. You don't hammer sword enough, it will not become strong enough. So it's all right. Each blow, yes, with arms wide open, accept it. Let me get stronger. Let me move ahead. So Krishna goes on. He said, universal, that truth consciousness is there, and that person realizes it. That was why Swami Vivekananda could say, "My brothers and sisters of America," in Chicago, and he got a standing ovation. Because that time people even found it very difficult. How can you see samatha in all our different cultures and different dharmas? You cannot see samatha. We are different. But he suddenly calls them brothers and sisters, and they are all like, wow, what a thought. They don't know we are from that Sanatan Dharma which teaches this Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. We don't divide based on narrow boundaries. What we can say. So many people make those divisions. That is not true. What happens then? Krishna goes on, Yo mam pashyati sarvatra sarvam chamai pashyati tasyaham na pranashyami sachame na pranashyati. He who everywhere sees only me, and in everyone me only he can see. To him I can never lost be, and he is never lost to me. Krishna says this is the promise, this is the consciousness of Krishna. When you are able to see Krishna's consciousness everywhere, what will happen? That consciousness will guide you. That consciousness will teach you how to move ahead. The strength will come. You will be receptive to receive it. Everywhere you are able to see oneness. Sri Aurobindo got it inside of the jail. Everywhere. Suddenly, no more is he worrying whether he will be hanged or not. Because this is the yojana of the divine. This is something. To him, I can never lost be, and he is never lost to me. The consciousness, the oneness is there. This interestingly, a beautiful commentary of this was shared by one participant who is no more now during COVID time. Venugopal ji, one professor, was there. Such a beautiful shloka he had so nicely explained. And he said, all of us are walking in this Janapad of Krishna, all of us to all those beautiful souls. And he gave a beautiful commentary. If I can find it, I'll try to share it. But this oneness, when you realize that oneness, where is the division? Who is your enemy? Who is there who is going to hurt you? When everywhere it is Krishna's consciousness that is guiding you. The Shatru Buddhi also has to be lost. No, Shatru need not be destroyed. The Shatru's Buddhi has to change. When you really see Krishna's consciousness there, you'll be able to connect. You'll be able to connect with that consciousness and things will happen. Things will happen. Krishna says, Tasyaham na pranashyami, sachamena pranashyati. Such a person is not lost. Such a person is not disconnected from that divine consciousness. He goes on, Sarvabhuta sthitam yo mam bhajatyekatvam asthitah sarvatha vartamanopi sayogi mai vartate. He who in every being's oneness believes firmly and loves me and every living being truly, his action and living, whatsoever may be his way, he lives and acts in my consciousness every day. This is a difficult realization, but this is the realization that must be got. Krishna is saying that such a person will experience my consciousness, my Chaitanya, when you are able to see oneness in all, in the oneness of every being. If you are able to see that, he says, whatever may be the action. The person may not be following certain kriyas. The person may not be doing something perfectly. It's all right. He's recognizing the divinity, and that divinity is going to teach the person. Many times shastras confirm what we already know that is true. Your heart knows when you are in the right consciousness. This is not wrong. And the shastras then confirm it. This is the realization of so many people. I didn't have to study the Upanishads first. When I heard my teacher speak, after hearing his statements, then I would go to the Upanishad and I would say, oh, wow. I would say, this is the reference I got from here. You have told us that day. He'd say, I don't know, you are thinking something. That's what he tries to brush it aside, as if he has not said it. But in that Chaitanya, in that consciousness, the secrets are visible. So it does not matter. It does not matter what you are doing, whichever way you may be walking. The divine consciousness is there, which is going to lead you. Krishna goes on. He says, we will look at 3 more shlokas after this. Yes. Atmaupamyena sarvatra samam pashyati yorjuna sukham va yadiva dukkham sayogi paramo matah. As the self's image, when everything he perceives, O Arjuna, in an equanimity and oneness he believes, in both joy and grief, a steadfast poise he retains, becoming closest to me, the highest position he attains. Krishna says, when somebody experiences that oneness, that samatha, he is going to see oneness at all times. So in joy also, in grief also, he is going to see that oneness. And such a person becomes closest to me, gets the highest status. My question is, what Krishna has told is all very nice. What do you think Arjuna is going to say right now? Anybody? How much do you think Arjuna is comprehending from what Krishna is saying right now? Remember, Arjuna is not on a vacation, in a holiday. He is actually in the middle of a big battle. He has to perform yuddha. What is he going to do after seeing Samatha? Oh, Duryodhana, he's going to raise his hands and go running to hug him. No. So what do you think Arjuna is going to, how is he going to react? How much percentage, if you want to say in a scale of 10, how much do you think he's got from what Krishna has said? Anybody?
4.
Okay, Karthik ji says 4. Okay, sometimes 35% is sufficient to clear. So he's cleared it then. Anybody else? Karthik ji says 4. Anybody would like to up or lower the scale?
3
Anjali?
to 4.
Considering that there are 12 more chapters to go, it is not even 2%.
Okay. Vinita ji says not even 2. All right. Anju ji, yes, ma'am.
3 to 4
3
maximum.
to 4. Maximum. All right. Let us see. Arjuna is very sincere. He's like a good student who quickly goes and shows parents the report card. So immediately he's going to say Krishna what he has understood. Whether he didn't like a chapter or didn't understand a chapter, or he forgot the name of the subject only. Let us see. Yes, somebody wants to add something? Yeah. Someone was saying something? Is it? No. All right. Arjuna Uvacha. Look at his response. He says, Yoyam yogastvaya proktaha samyena madhusudana etasyaham na pashyami chanchalam vasthitim stiram. Oh Krishna, the yoga of oneness, this samyata, this samatha, all of this what you are telling me, it is this yoga of oneness expounded by this great one knowledge you are passing to me finds not any understanding or resonance with me. For its nuances, I still cannot grasp or find. I'm still feeling quite restless within my mind. Because I'm still feeling that restless only. What you talked about yogi's mind being free. You talked about prashant, what we can say, highest shanti. All this thing you have told me. Nothing. Sir, I've forgotten what subject only this is. First teach me the subject, then I'll try to understand what are the chapters. So it's like that. No, I don't see any understanding, whatever you're talking about. You're talking about becoming quiet. You taught me 2 meditation techniques. Here, Krishna is responding. Next shloka. He says, Chanchalam hi manaha Krishna pramathi balavad dridam tasyaham nigraham manye vayureva sudushkaram. Krishna gave the example of Vayu, isn't it? Wind. A mind which is driven by attachment is like a boat without a rudder. At the mercy of the winds, it will go anywhere. Or yogi's mind is like a windless, like a flame in a windless place. So Guru ki Vidya Guru ko, Arjuna is giving a similar simile back to Krishna. What is he saying? He says, despite your words, so many people say your words bring Shanti. I have not got any Shanti. He says, despite your words, my mind seems so restless. Its nature seems so stubborn and relentless. Oh Krishna, to tame it, I can't find a way. It seems as hard as controlling a wind blowing away. My mind is only the wind. Now control it. Forget the lamp. My mind is the wind, is what he's telling Krishna. Normally, anybody would get irritated, but Krishna doesn't. So we'll stop at these two shlokas of Krishna. He responds. He responds in the most beautiful manner. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha. Asanshayam Mahabaho. Absolutely, no doubts. He says, Asanshayam Mahabaho. Mano Durnigraham Chalam. Abhyasena tu kaunteya vairagyena cha gruhyate. Yes, he says, oh mighty armed one, taming the mind is difficult indeed. I understand, he says. Yes, I understand you're finding it difficult. It's natural. Why? For its restless nature always tries to mislead. Mana is chanchala. It is going to take you away. It is going to mislead you. It's all right. It is understandable, he says. But abhyasena, with regular practice, the mind can be trained. So if you want to train the mind, practice dhyana. Just don't stop because you're not able to be successful in the first attempt. Keep trying, keep trying. And with detachment, a control over it can be attained. This is also beautiful. Krishna says, Vairagyena cha gruhyate. So two ways of controlling. One is abhyasa. Abhyasa is practice. We know that, isn't it? Practice makes perfect. Vairagya also is one more way. You are no more connected whether you are getting something or not. Some people work very hard because they want some shiny medal. Sometimes in Olympics also they entirely their life they have dedicated for it. And then due to some political reasons, their country does not send them only. What happens to that person then? Nobody even hears in the news, no? If the person is very attached only to that medal and not with the discipline, the journey stops there only. I have failed because of the system, I will not try. But then there are some people who don't. They have got vairagya. Whether or not I get a medal, I will get going. There are some gold medalists who next day also after that started going for practice. Means the medal is won. They're on top of the world. But no, I want to become better. I want to evolve. I'm not doing this for some shiny piece of medal. Some medalists complained also that this medal quality is bad. It has suddenly become dull. So, but they're not associating 4 years of life for that. They're associating it with something higher. That's what Vairagya will help you in life also. If you don't experience, it's very difficult actually to experience Vairagya, and some people get it just so easily also. It is very difficult. We have so many desires, so much restlessness all the time. What will happen if this desire does not fulfill? Vairagya will say, "Ha, theek hai, it's all right. It may get fulfilled, may not get fulfilled. Big deal. I'll do what I have to do, what is needed to be done, irrespective of the outcome." Krishna goes on. He says, we stop at this shloka. Asanyatatmana yogo dushprapa iti me matihi vashyatmana tu yatata shakyo vaptum upayataha. When a control over self one cannot maintain, they fail in yoga, and a union they cannot attain. Through disciplined efforts, a mastery over self they can retain. With regulated practice, a control they can surely attain. They can surely ascertain. Means practice will help you. Krishna is saying, I think how many times we have studied subjects we don't like. Does not go inside the head only. What do? We keep trying, keep trying, keep trying, and somehow or the other we learn and we go ahead. It is something that like that, Krishna is saying, you'll have to practice it. What happens if you don't? Same thing what teacher says. If you don't study, you'll fail. That nobody wants. So if you want to clear, you'll have to work. You'll have to work. If you want to rise in consciousness, you will have to practice vairagya, you'll have to practice dhyana, you'll have to do sadhana. In simple, in short, do sadhana, evolve. You say, I don't want to do sadhana, then you cannot evolve. You might fall. You might fall in traps of life. There are lots of traps waiting. So that is what we stop here. Okay, Arjuna is going to have objection to this also. Why I should fail? Like students say, no, I have got it with so many marks. I have come into your college. I must get placement, even if my grade point average is 2.5 out of 10, because I am from this college. So that's something like that. Arjuna is probably wanting some concession on the Yog Marga, because failure is not something anybody likes. Arjuna also doesn't like that. So he's going to ask questions related to failure. That we'll look at in the next workshop. That is next week. Yeah. All right. So I conclude with the Shanti Mantra. If anybody has some queries or something you wish to share after the Shanti Mantra, we can look at it. Hari Om. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramayah, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kasyit dukkha bhag bhavet. Hari Om Tatsat. Krishnam Vande Jagat Guru. Jai Shri Krishna. Hari Om. Yes, any queries? You're welcome.
This may appear to be a silly question, but then
No question
they're
is silly,
standing.
madam. Yeah.
No, it's like the battle is about to begin. And does Arjuna have all the time to do the dhyana and get the transformation that he needs it to fight his
Yeah.
enemies?
No, but that is under the assumption that Arjuna has never done dhyana. Maybe Arjuna forgot about it, isn't it? Can you see somebody who is an archer, unless somebody has great mind control, one cannot become an archer. And Arjuna was having multiple kalas, he was quite an expert in. I think he was also a great dancer as well. Full control over body and mind. So he had it, but emotions had made him restless. As far as the timing, we have already, I think, in the very first session discussed a possibility that yes, a 2-hour discussion is very much possible before the battlefield. Given that it was an 18-day battle and there were lakhs of soldiers moving around, it was a dharma yuddha. It was not like modern day guerrilla warfare. See the enemy shoot or hide and put and shoot, something like that. So, but like you say, Arjuna is not relating to it right now in emotions. He feels, what is all of this dhyana and all not required. Many people would say, no, don't do soul searching right now. This is not the age. Now is not the time. So that could be a possibility. But Krishna is probably bringing Arjuna back to the right consciousness. He's talking about these two techniques. And these are very instant techniques, actually. Means quickly they can give results. And in the war, everything is about quickness. Means Arjuna will have adrenaline rush. In adrenaline rush, he will suddenly try to use more force. So if he just tries quietly to calm down, he will know the right amount of force also. So maybe because in the many Mahabharata stories, Krishna gives some instruction by just action also, without giving any direct verbal cue. That also turns out to be very transformatory. So maybe, but more than that, I feel both Arjuna and Krishna are playing because they know that this is going to be read and studied by people several thousand years later. So they are also playing a role. Arjuna, because in one more chapter we'll see Krishna is calling Arjuna as the most exalted among the Pandavas, the highest consciousness. So maybe he also felt, yes, okay, Guru has given Adesh, do this. So let's take part in the dance. So let's take part in the drama. Arjuna is a good dancer, isn't it? So is Krishna. So both of them are doing another Leela for us, probably. This dialogue which is taking place. So yes, you.
And everybody
Maybe
else
because
too, because they're waiting there. They
No,
must be
no, 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 no. No, no, actually, see, everybody is busy in their duties there. They have to find, it is a dharma yuddha, meaning foot soldier will fight foot soldier. Suddenly somebody on the foot will not throw one spear into a man on a chariot. So they have to go into positions. Each of them have to track their opponents. Who is the opponent? Today I'm going to challenge. Each of them have separate flags also, contingents like that, no? Maharathi is having one separate flag. Arjuna's has got is called Kapidhwaja, Anjaneya's flag. Like that, each person has a different. They have to pass on the instructions. So probably some people say Krishna stop time. I don't know how to stop time, so I don't logically understand it. That's all. Maybe he could have, maybe he could not have. But for me, logically, it seems quite possible. Means even marriage is going to be arranged in families. People have discussions for hours and hours. Two people having discussion here, other people have other discussions, isn't it? And marriage logistics is also similar to this yuddha. So many relatives come from this side, this relative must go there. And that discussion, nobody says gets over within few hours. They say we need days and days to discuss that. So here it's just what we can say, a 2 hour discussion on about a battle which is going to go on for 18 days. So much logistics. Even food has to be provided for all of them, isn't it? That time they didn't have these apps, but they had a food delivery partner and supplier. Anybody knows from where? Both sides got from the same
From
source.
Udupi.
Yes, 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 yes. So lots of things were at play. It was not just like in the serials they show, no? Everybody is frozen, statue, and then they are talking. Maybe dialogue was going on, or maybe Krishna is the master of time, Kalatita. He could have he could have stopped also. Who knows? Until we get that strength of stopping, we'll not be able to quickly understand if it's possible or not. Yes, Ji.
Also, because it was discussed in the battlefield, not in some, Muni's ashram, and, that sort.
Yeah.
That's why this Upanishad is probably relevant even
Yeah,
in
it is
our.
symbolic. It is symbolic. We are fighting battles of life. Many times we also don't know, like Arjuna, no? The battle's gravity until we enter into it. And then after entering it, we don't know, we don't see an escape. What did I do? How do I go out? And some people say the Pandavas are Pancha Indriyas only. And 101 Kauravas, Asha Pasha Shatair Baddha, in the Gita there's a shloka. So the 100 desires attack the 5 Indriyas. Who wins in this Mahabharata? That is the question. If there is Krishna, if there is Arjuna, we know who is going to win. The Pancha, all 5 Indriyas will be successful. It is something like that. Yes, Chief. Yeah. Hari Om. Yes.
Hari Om.
Hari Om. Namaskar.
Hari
Om. Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Hari Om. Ji. Hari Om. Namaskar.
Hari Om.
Hari Om. If no queries are there, we'll conclude. Hari Om. Ji.
I had a fact that I wanted to mention, but anyway, people are going. So this is about psychology and the meditation. So as per psychological research, it has actually been found कि हम जब meditation करते हैं तो हमारे brain में अलग अलग rays होते हैं जिनको EEG device के through किया जाता है. तो अगर हम
The
धीमे
name, which are you specifically talking about? The alpha, beta, gamma, what?
Yeah,
Waves,
I'm not exactly remembering that, but there is
Achha,
one
theek hai.
specific
Okay.
one which makes us calm. So when we do the meditation, so our brain also moves to that particular wave, and it has a proper medical evidence. That's all I wanted to mention.
Yeah. And also there is serotonin hormone, no? That's secreted. We did a trial actually. We did the hormonal profiling also of candidates
Oh.
after listening to Vedic chants. That was special children. And we saw a change in the serotonin hormone. That was published also. It was in 2013 or 14, I think. That was the research. Effect of Vedic chants. Google on Google you search, you will find that research only first. Effect of Vedic chants on children with autism. So there it shows that,
Okay.
yes, behavioral changes take place. And that is why Gita chanting also helps, many without understanding also if you chant, that also has its effect because there's a rhythm in that vibrations also. Yes. But learning is always better because that is the entire purpose why it was chanted also. Hari Om.